Today, we present a spiritual message from Charlie Chaplin. He speaks about the causes of worsening public safety. The insights he shares are truly thought-provoking, so we encourage you to listen until the very end.
I often come here when I feel a sense of unease about the state of the world. I believe it's mostly during such times that I find myself here. Right now, I feel that the world is on the verge of significant change. Each person has their own beliefs, opinions, and ways of thinking, shaped by differing values. This diversity of people is what makes up the earth. However, I believe humanity can be broadly divided into two groups: those who strive to lead the world in a brighter, more positive direction, and those who, driven by a mindset of simply surviving the moment, continue to descend into a darker, more negative path. Between these two groups lies a substantial middle group, people who could go either way. I feel that there are quite a lot of people in this middle category. The direction these individuals ultimately choose to align their thoughts and actions with will greatly influence the course of their lives moving forward. These individuals in the middle, those at the crossroads, are living day by day, often focusing on the immediate present. They might think, today was a good day. I was able to eat bread today. They find happiness in small things. These people are not particularly wealthy but manage to eat daily meals, spend time with their families, and maintain a modest, peaceful life. Their efforts are likely aimed at preserving this modest happiness and keeping their peaceful environment intact for as long as possible. On the other hand, there are those whose lives have taken a darker turn. They struggle even to secure bread for the day and are constantly figuring out how to survive another day. It seems to me that the number of such people has been increasing recently. These are individuals who, until now, led ordinary lives, but due to certain circumstances, suddenly find their economic situation worsening. They are forced to part with their possessions or lose their wealth, leading to a life of uncertainty about where their next meal will come from. Faced with such economic hardship, these individuals naturally focus on the necessity of securing money to survive. However, in their current circumstances, they find it difficult to earn enough money. They may have no steady job, no notable skills or talents, and no assets to sell. They wonder, how am I going to survive today or tomorrow? I believe there are many such people in this world. It feels like the number of people facing these kinds of economic crises is steadily increasing. We see countless refugees who don't even have a roof over their heads to shield them from the rain today. There are also those who once had homes but can no longer live in them and have consequently become refugees. There are vast numbers of such people in the world. The modern era is far from universally prosperous. In fact, it sometimes seems that earlier times might have been richer in some ways. It feels as if the world has reached a point where such thoughts don't seem entirely unfounded. In these dire circumstances, many people end up resorting to crime. They are so desperate to survive another day that, even though they know what they are doing is wrong, they feel compelled to act. They harm others, steal money, or, at times, even take lives, sacrificing others for their own survival. I believe that most of them don't want to engage in such acts but are driven to do so by the overwhelming pressure of their situation. This is profoundly tragic. Governments must take this reality seriously, observing these circumstances closely and acting promptly to address the societal phenomena causing them. Measures must be implemented quickly to prevent the situation from worsening. However, the point I wish to discuss today is not the government's response. Instead, I want to address why people resort to crime in the first place, or why, when they find themselves in such dire straits, they choose the path of wrongdoing even when alternatives may still exist. This speaks to a fundamental darkness in contemporary society. What I mean is this: many people today think that as long as they don't break human laws, or even if they do, as long as they don't get caught, life will be fine. They believe that as long as they evade punishment, they can carry on. This mindset reflects the fact that many people no longer believe in the existence of God. Even if they have some vague awareness of a higher power, they don't truly believe it in their hearts. As a result, the thought, as long as I'm not caught, it's fine, arises all too easily. When society grows darker like this, the critical question becomes, why shouldn't people commit such acts? When faced with a choice between right and wrong, I believe that those who truly believe in God and hold reverence for the divine would refrain from wrongdoing, even when no one is watching. But for those without such faith, the absence of an external enforcer of punishment leads them to dismiss even the faintest voice of conscience, and they proceed to commit crimes. This disregard for one's conscience is becoming increasingly common, and we are witnessing a growing number of such incidents in reality. As humanity continues to lose its faith in God, people will increasingly adopt the mistaken belief that such thinking is acceptable. This will inevitably lead to a rise in crime. If this trend continues, what will become of our society? Cities will turn into places where public safety deteriorates, and living peacefully will no longer be possible. To address this, I believe it is essential to foster within our hearts a sense of righteousness that cannot be dictated by laws or regulations alone. This intrinsic sense of morality is something all people possess. However, the increasing prevalence of crimes in recent years is deeply troubling to me. Many people are now willing to hurt others, steal money, and stake their lives on obtaining just a short-term supply of food. This is the fate of those who have lost their faith. I believe we have reached a critical moment where this trajectory must be drastically corrected. The proliferation of crimes and the emergence of unsafe cities where people can no longer live in peace may finally serve as a wake-up call. Perhaps it is only through such circumstances that people are being prompted to rediscover the fundamental importance of having faith in God. Why is it so essential to believe in God? I think this current era, with its rampant criminal behavior, is forcing us to confront and learn this foundational truth. Humanity must awaken quickly. If we fail to do so, the world will continue to spiral downward, becoming an increasingly bleak place. I am profoundly concerned about this trajectory, and that is why I have come today to share this message. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I deeply appreciate you teaching me such an important matter. I am truly grateful from the bottom of my heart for explaining so clearly why faith is necessary and what happens in its absence. I am determined to continue advocating for the importance of faith to as many people as possible. Today, I am profoundly thankful for your message, as you have shared the most essential truths, perhaps the most critical points for society as a whole. I sincerely thank you once again for this invaluable guidance. This time, Mr. Chaplin's message had a different tone than usual, didn't it? He genuinely expressed his concern and worries, sharing the most important points from the heavenly realm as he observed the earth with great care. Without faith, people will indulge in their whims, judging others by their standards, shaping society for their own benefit, and acting solely for personal gain. These things happen all too often. If faith were deeply rooted, I believe the current way the media reports would likely be different. The media wouldn't be able to lie, nor could they pretend not to know something they are fully aware of. This applies to the broader flow of society as well. In the past, when someone was about to commit a crime, others would stop them. If children misbehaved, adults would step in to correct them. It was considered the responsibility of adults to raise children collectively as a society. Children were once told things like, "God is always watching you." That sense of accountability is disappearing now. Today, even mentioning God often invites ridicule. In a world that has forgotten God, where everyone begins to assert their values, we lose sight of what is truly right. If everyone acknowledged God's existence and teachings, they would evaluate what is right by those teachings. That's the key difference. Here on this channel, we discuss the laws of the afterlife, which include heaven and hell. These laws have remained past, present, and future, not even by a millimeter. Good is good, and evil is evil. Goodness aligns with living according to God's will, while evil stems from living solely for self-interest and ego. That's the basic distinction, though there are many finer details. If people began living altruistically, the world would undoubtedly change. But in these chaotic times, where it's unclear what is right or wrong, the question becomes, what will you use as your standard? Everyone might think, I've learned enough, I'm fine. But the truth is that confidence comes from self-imposed standards. There is no such teaching as, you're fine because you've studied. The real lesson lies in continuously transforming your understanding and adjusting your behavior. You can stop at any time, but you can also unknowingly start descending. Often, people believe they are fine just as they begin to falter. The moment you think you finally understand, you may begin to lose sight of the truth. Complacency is dangerous, extremely dangerous. That's why it's crucial to remain humble and continue learning with the mindset that there is always more to uncover. I want to continue spreading the message that God exists, that there truly is a higher power. Whether people laugh or mock this belief, the truth remains, heaven and hell exist. The afterlife is real. What exists cannot be denied. So, with that, I'll conclude for today. Thank you very much.
How did you feel after watching the video? This spiritual message from Chaplin reminded me of the phrase I often heard as a child. The sun is always watching. Even though it didn't necessarily prevent crimes, it taught us as children not to litter or behave poorly because the sun is watching. In a way, this sun represented a higher presence, much like God. When children are taught this way from a young age, it becomes a deterrent to wrongdoing. As Chaplin mentioned, even adults can curb their actions if they develop faith in God. What we must consider now is the reality that fewer people hold faith in God today, and the increasing deterioration of public safety reflects this truth. Let us all spread the importance of faith in God to as many people as possible, as it serves as a foundation for creating a safer and more harmonious society. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. Please stay tuned for the next video.